Great photos without editing. Is it possible? I often hear the phrase, this photo is not edited. It seems like nothing weird, right? The person means that they didn't change the picture after taking it. But is it really true? Are there truly photos that you can say you are not edited? If a photographer says they don't edit their pictures, they are either knowingly lying you or they are misleading you because they think they are right but are actually mistaken. Or maybe the problem is in how we use words. Let's try to figure it out. I don't want to offend or shame anyone. I just want people to understand each other better on this topic. And maybe some photographers will see the process of making their photos in a new way after this video. So, let's say we can divide photo editing into two parts. First part, adjusting the photo so that it represents reality as accurately as possible. Color, contrast, brightness and so on. Everyone has their own idea of what is real. You have yours, I have mine, even a camera has its own idea. What does it mean? If the camera takes a picture, it's not yet an image. It needs to be developed first. If we are talking about film photography, developing is literal, and how it's turned out depends on how you develop it. The same film can be developed in different ways. And if we are talking about digital photos, they are also a kind of developing. It's called converting from a raw file to an image. Every digital camera, even one in your phone, does this. It has to. And this developing can be very different depending on the software that does the converting. You probably know that even with the same phone, you can get different results depending on the app you use for taking photos. So, editing happens, whether you like it or not. Not to mention that you can affect the results by changing color saturation, setting white balance or choosing a color profile. If you don't pick these settings, it doesn't mean there are no editing. It just means the camera is doing it for you. So, every photo goes through this first part of editing. Not every photo goes through the second part. This is about adjusting the photo to how the retoucher or the client want to see it. It's about trying to change reality, to fix the shape of objects and some elements or remove something unnecessary. And some people go too far with the second part of editing. As a result, their pictures end up looking very different from reality. I won't say it's bad, but it's closer to painting than photography. Seeing such overlay edited photos, some impressionable photographers decided not to edit their pictures at all. They think the photo should be pure with no changes. But, as we already know, this approach doesn't make sense. Editing is always there and it's pretty important. You can't avoid it. Even if we don't open the photo in an editing program, the camera still does some work on it. Editing photos is neither good nor bad. It just is. It's a necessary part of photography. You can't escape it, so better to learn to do it well instead of ignoring it. If you don't like pictures where you can clearly see the editing, it does not mean you don't like editing in general. It means you don't like that kind of heavy editing. Editing can be different, and often an edited photo can look more alive and real than an unedited one. The key to good editing is to make it not noticeable. This video is mainly for those who try to avoid photo editing. You can't run away from it, but what you can really do is learn to edit in a way that you like.